All right. It is January the 8th, 2014. Are you kidding? It's the MCBS Hour. We are recorded live in front of a virtual and a live studio audience. We're coming to you from Full Sail University campus in sunny Winter Park, Florida. I hope everybody's having a great new year. We're obviously ringing in the new year with so much jazz music. I'm sorry, Robert, was that jazz?
Yay. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was.
Yes. All right. Okay. I mess that up sometimes. Well, as you can tell already, the BS stands for Bachelor of Science, but you will probably come up with some other meanings for those initials before the show's completely over. And we'd all like to thank you so much for joining us on this thrilling journey into the heart of the media communications industry. We are going to do our introductions, and we've got people spread out all over planet Earth joining us here today. In the far, far corner of the room, I think we've got Robert himself. Robert, how are you?
Doing great, Jason. Thank you. Welcome, everyone, to this week's MCBS Hour, and I'm looking forward to all the wonderful content we have to present today, and I'm passing it over to Pete.
Thank you, Robert, and I am excited that I'm here today to share with everyone and to partake of all that's going to go on, and I'm going to pass it over to my sister in solidarity, #Janelle.
It's me. Happy New Year, everybody. This is Janelle, the course director for Media Communications Project Management. Excited to be here and passing it over to Kathy because I hear an echo.
Well, an echo of you is always a good thing, Janelle, because more of Janelle is a good thing. So it's great to be here, everybody, and I'm so incredibly excited to see a bunch of students with us, and we even have one in the studio audience, at least one, I think, in the actual studio. So we're really excited to have Ivan with us. So great to have everybody.
Also in the room with us, at the far corner of a completely different row, Phyllis. How's it going, Phyllis?
Oh, it's going well. I'm glad to see my students in the studio audience today. Hey, Iris, glad to see you here, and glad to see everybody else. Good to be here.
Yeah, this 24 is kicking. Renee.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Great. How's everything on your end of the room?
It's nice and bright here, cozy. Comfy chair. Got one of our students here next to us, so it's ready to roll.
Are there any snacks?
There are snacks nearby, yes.
Man.
Brazilian chocolates, freshly imported, all kinds of good stuff.
Oh, come on. And I'm stuck here in a room
we
with
do
nothing.
it right. Yeah, we do it right, Jason.
Also in the studio room, the studio building, Building 5, Shannon Gillette. Shannon, say hi.
Hello, everybody, and happy 2014, and I hope that all of you are much, much warmer today than you were the past few days.
Hey, Jason, it's Emily. I'm actually on the radio show as well from the far reaches of Full Sail 5. Just want to say hi to everybody. Unfortunately, I can't seem to log in, so I'm speaking from another profile here in the room, but we've got 4 lovely MCBS campus students here with us, and so we're all in and we're all having a good time.
I am so impressed. Building 5 is hopping today. We've got campus students all over the place, recording stations right and left. This thing is so big, we're going to need ESPN to run this eventually. But more about ESPN later. If I've forgotten anybody, I apologize ahead of time. We're going to push on into the content and take a look at our very first story, this media in the news. And take a look, if you can. We've got this game that some of you may have received for Christmas. It's called Logo Party. It's very, very much like any other game, except in this game, instead of knowing the answers to history questions or art and leisure questions, you're supposed to know as much as you can about branding and corporation logos and jingles. I think this game was possibly made, in fact, by a company that just wanted to reinforce all of these logos and jingles, as if perhaps they had to pay a little money to be part of the game, so people would shout out Bugles or Dairy Queen or WD-40 or whatever logo it is that you're having to talk about for this game. Now, this is a game many of you probably didn't receive, but I wanted to ask the faculty that we have here if you received any type of gift for the holiday season, whatever holiday that might have been for you. What was it? What media-related gift did you receive while we were on break?
Okay, I have to chime in because ours is wonderful, and I'm sure some of you already have one, but we got an Apple TV. And we had the Chromecast, which was good, but this is great, I must admit. Sorry to be an advertisement for Apple, but we are really, really loving it, and so we got that.
This is Emily.
Yeah, go ahead, Emily.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm having to kind of reach over and use one of my students' computers, so it's going to say Kevin's name when I'm talking right now, but it is, in fact, Emily. I did get a fun media gift for Christmas. I got the Up wristband from Jawbone, which basically is a pedometer, but it also tracks like my exercise and sleep cycles. And so I plug it into my phone and it syncs with my phone and then tells me how well I'm doing in terms of, am I sleeping enough? Am I walking enough? If I was really into it, I might put in, my food choices, but I haven't gone that crazy with it yet, but it's been pretty fun to play around with.
Funny side note, Emily, on that. I don't know if any of you guys have ever done one of those apps, like sleep cycle apps. So basically it's an app that you turn it on and you put it sort of on the corner of your bed and it tracks your sleep cycle and how you sleep. It's pretty cool. But so it sounds like you have one of those, Emily, but I used it for a while and I couldn't sleep because I was so aware of my sleep cycle. So it became kind of a backfire thing for me. I hope it works out for you though, Em.
Well, several nights I have been, having a little trouble falling asleep, but that was mostly just because I was excited about some of my other Christmas presents that I wanted to play with. But I'm happy to report that I reached about 90% or 97% of my sleep goal last night. So there you go.
Well
We're
done.
proud, Em. We're very proud.
Kathy, I had a similar problem with an exercise app that I purchased. I just couldn't exercise with that app watching me, so I didn't.
Well played.
Touche.
What about from the windowed side of the room? Anybody over there have any media-related gifts they want to share?
Sorry. Jewelry and shoes.
Wah,
Next.
wah.
Hey, they're workout shoes. Come on, guys.
I've got an interesting one. It really wasn't. I got a gift card and I've decided to use it to buy my son the iMovie app for his iPad, and so he and his friends have been using it. They're all under 10, and they've been using this like storyboard function on it where it gives them titles and it gives them all these storyboards as targets. So they're going out and filming little segments to put in. So it's basically teaching them how to film something that makes sense. And they just walked back in the house after playing all afternoon and had this fully well-edited piece of video, and it just blew my mind.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool to see what a well-designed app can teach a bunch of kids playing in the neighborhood.
That's insane. Can you even imagine the kind of students that are going to show up at Full Sail in 8 years because they've been weaned on that kind of a toy?
Yeah.
That's astounding.
Blew my mind.
Well, we look forward to seeing those videos up on YouTube with 1 million hits soon.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that sounds like a pretty fun holiday. A lot of toys to play with. I'm sure you guys, because you've been following the show, are all wondering, gosh, Jason, what amazing things have you done with your video quadcopter? Have you filmed some footage that you could link us to? Well, quit asking that question because it hasn't shown up in the mail yet, and it's really upsetting me, frankly. Keep asking over and over and over. I'm like, no, the quadcopter hasn't shown up. Give me a break.
Are we going to have a quadcopter feed of the next radio show playing over the office here?
Oh, yeah. And the blooper reel is going to be awesome because I'll still be new. So it'll be footage of me ramming a quadcopter into people's heads. All right. Don't worry. I'll tell you as soon as it shows up. For now, let's move forward to another story of media in the news with this young lady. Boy, kind of like the last show we had. Who can name her without a title above her head? Who's that?
I know.
Oh, that's me. Hey, sorry. Is that my cue, Jason?
Well, it was just kind of throwing it out there, but since nobody
Sorry.
yelled Beyonce,
Well,
I'm
I'm
gonna let you
sorry. I
take it.
got so excited because students are saying they have a lead for you on your copter, so I just was really getting into that. So,
Oh well, then forget this story. Let's.
so
What?
I forget Beyonce.
Back to quadcopters.
Yeah, back to quadcopters. But yeah, as you can see, it's Beyonce. I know we probably have a lot of fans in the house. But I didn't know if you guys had heard, probably you did, about all the hubbub, about the non-hubbub, about the release of her album, which was released on December 13th. And, you know, if anybody knows anything about Beyonce, it was a much awaited album. And, you know, usually there's a lot of fanfare that goes along before that happens. But all of a sudden this was released, but only on the internet, which is what makes it very significant for us. So she launched this album of 14 songs and 17 videos on iTunes, and which was really, as a lot of people are saying, a very strategic move. So again, that's a good word for us, media strategy. But there were no gimmicks or teasers or marketing campaigns or ads or anything. All of a sudden, boom, it was on iTunes. So really, really interesting strategy in terms of how to release. Is this going to be something we see more of? And if it is going to be something we see more of, will it not be a thing anymore? Will it not be, you know, kind of interesting and because then that's what everybody does. So, but you also may ask, but did it work for Beyonce? Well, we probably can all answer that question without really knowing, but I did want to tell you this is really interesting. 3 days after the release of the videos and songs, Apple announced that Beyonce was the fastest selling, the album, which is called Beyonce, was the fastest selling album ever on the iTunes Store worldwide with an unprecedented 828,773 albums sold in just the first 3 days. So now,
Wow.
you know, goodness knows how many have been sold by now. And Beyonce also broke U.S. first week album sales record with 617,213 albums sold, and proved to be a global success, of course, in going to #1 in 104 countries. So I'd say that was fairly successful. Now, of course, you know, some may be all behind the fact that, of course, she's kind of a household name.
Yeah.
If I did that, you know, I may only have a few 100,000 people buying it, but it's just interesting to look at the strategy of an internet-only release of a much-awaited album, and 17 videos with a lot of big names in these videos, and nobody talked, I guess. So anyway, just throwing it out there. What do you guys think about that?
She saved a lot of money.
Yeah.
If I
On
may
marketing.
chime in,
Yes, time in.
the other thing that she did was really cool. On the first day of the release, she actually bought out the whole page of iTunes, which if you looked at the page, there was no advertisements around whatever the record, the videos that you could download, but hers, which was never done before. Usually, you would go to a page and see somebody else's sideline, like, okay, if you like this record, buy this one too, or other people preferred this as well. There was none of that in this case, which was, I thought, brilliant on her part. Like, brilliant. Anyway.
Wow, that's really, really great additional comment there. So you can see, you know, she's very strategic, or her
team is, yeah.
is very strategic. And great comment too, Robert, about the iTunes page. So once again, you guys are getting ready to be the brains behind these kinds of operations.
For whatever reason, I was reminded of Seinfeld, who had a show about nothing.
Yeah.
Here's a marketing campaign about nothing.
Doesn't exist.
Both very successful. Yeah.
Both very successful, yes.
Well, Beyonce, good job, and hopefully you can get a hairbrush and work out.
That's what was on everybody's mind.
Well, from the viral news desk, we've got an exciting update on the Spider-Man 2 movie. I know that there are a lot of big-time Spider-Man fans out there, and I was a pretty big Spider-Man fan, but they've really launched into this transmedia storytelling with a lot of the content that gets released in between movies. And one of the ways they're keeping everybody excited about the upcoming Spider-Man movie is the newspaper, the Daily Bugle, which exists in the Spider-Man universe, exists on Tumblr also. So on Tumblr, you can, if you follow the Daily Bugle on Tumblr, you can keep up with all of the news that's pretend coming from this universe. And recently there was a lot of talk about, is that villain, the Lizard, going to return to the next movie? Because at the end of the last movie, it was kind of ambiguous. Was he going to get thrown in jail? What was going to happen? Was he even going to be in another movie? Yes, it seems that he was recently thrown in jail, and there's been some news about what his future looks like. It was released that there's a very good chance he's going to end up on Rikers Island with a lot of other prisoners, or another possibility here, he might get picked up by the Ravencroft Institute for the Criminally Insane. Now, I'm sure if you end up at a place like that, you've got a lot of other supervillains to work together with, and I'm going to guess that's the direction they're going. But for me, even if I'm mildly interested, which I was here, it's content like this that draws me in, extends the story a little bit further, and engages me, the audience member, to the extreme. So the more of this additional universe content that they put out, the more excited I get. Anybody have anything to say about Spider-Man? Because really, I just wanted to get all excited and talk about it. Cause
He's off.
Spider-Man's off?
There
Jason,
you are.
you're back.
Was I gone?
Yep.
How much did you miss?
Just
Because
like
I'll repeat
a
it
few
all.
seconds.
Just 3 seconds.
Yeah, right. All right, back to the top. So, Spider-Man 2. So that's at least me. I'm pretty excited about that upcoming movie.
What does the fox say?
Blah, blah, blah.
It's Lisa's favorite
Well,
song.
There's a very good chance that if you're a regular listener, you first heard about What Does the Fox Say on this very show, because we were talking about it when it was still in the single-digit millions.
Mm-hmm.
6 million, 7 million. And this thing was released in September, I believe the 10th of September. So who wants to take a guess at where the view count is now? If you've already just looked and found out, you don't get to answer.
172 million.
Wow, you
Okay.
think? That's an awful lot for September, October, November.
Oh, well, I don't know. I've watched it quite a few times. Yeah.
Don't worry, Janelle, I was building up drama, because here it is. 324 million views. That's a third of a billion.
Jen Bell was close.
Wow.
And I would like to pretty much take credit for all of it.
It sounds like Janelle had a bit of a hand in it too, though. Jason.
I think, and my nephews, I showed it to them, and they play it every day. So, thanks to Jason.
Yeah. You're welcome. When you can't sleep at night because that's the song in your head, you're welcome.
Oh, yeah, I think of you. It's fabulous.
Well, that's our media in the
Oh,
news.
sorry.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, I just was thought Arius had such a good point here. I wanted to make sure it was noticed.
oh yeah.
Um,
He could even chime in if he's got the
yeah,
mic ready to go.
do you have a mic, Arius, or
Yeah, you can just use your
No,
desktop mic.
he doesn't?
No. Come on, Arius, you got that smooth radio voice. Come on,
Come
man.
on, Arius, we're all gonna pressure you.
Come on, jump up.
Arius, no. This is awkward. So, yeah, we like to really encourage our students to make good
Yeah.
comments like that. So this is how we do it.
All right. So let's go back to Arius's point.
I'll let you off the hook, Arius. But yeah, he's making a good point about the Fox, craze shows how great marketing can push even somebody who's not a Beyonce,
It's
like
true.
any of us, maybe.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's really fascinating. If it's done right, amazing things can happen. Great point, Arius.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just to touch on it before we move on, this came out of Norway, and the population in Norway, if I'm not mistaken, is 7 million. So even if every Norwegian watched this once, that's still nothing compared to the worldwide acclaim that it received because of the platform that it was presented on. That astounds me.
Luckily, they've each watched it 50 times.
Right. Well, it's very cold. There's not a lot else to do there.
I think it's become like a national policy. I think 50 times a day is the thing.
No doubt. Well, that ends our media in the news run and takes us directly to Kathy's corner.
All righty then. It is great to be here today. What a fun group this is. I'm so excited. Again, I have to say it again. I'm so excited about all these students in here. You guys have a lot to offer us. But I wanted to go over a couple things. First of all, you may be hearing these incredibly savvy media comments coming up of some mystery person named Renee. Who is this Renee? Well, I just wanted to let you know that we have somebody new with us, Renee Otero, who, who's wonderful. Yay! Yeah, and Renee is working with Jason in the Introduction to Media, Communication, and Technology course. And we're really excited to have him. He's coming over from film, so he has a lot of great media, film, and education experience. So just has the perfect combination. We're really happy to have you with us today. So
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's great to be here.
Great. So wanted to introduce, there we go. Next, so great to have you, Renee. And then the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was Creative Edge. I think in our last show, I mentioned that this was coming, and sure enough, it showed up. It should have shown up in your email Monday. So, Lauren got it yesterday. Okay. I did want to check in with you guys, and I probably will through Connect as well, how that's going in terms of if anybody's had any issues or having trouble logging in. What I'm going to do is some folks had a little bit of trouble logging in, and so I am going to put this workaround that somebody sent out to us the other day. Hope it'll go through there. If that's helpful, if you're having any trouble getting in, there it is. But this is a tremendous resource with I can't remember how many, but thousands of both text and video resources, so that you're not limited to just one textbook. And I know here in media communications, we like to be, game changers, and so there are some classes who aren't even using an actual textbook or one textbook. They use different internet resources, so they were already kind of on their way. But yeah, there we go. Renee's saying 12,000 ish books. And so this will allow you, though, to faculty and students to kind of go in and pull this chapter from that book and that chapter from another book and a video from here, and really create a very well-rounded resource for you. Up 12,528, Janelle says. Great resource for you. So I know your faculty are just getting to know this as you are, so we'll, I'm sure, be ramping this up more and more, but there may be some fun scavenger hunts in your future and that sort of thing. But please feel free to run around in there and play and look around and find whatever other resources. Let your faculty know, hey, I found this cool thing. Write reviews. The other thing I want to let you know is there's a place in there for you to write reviews. So of course, keep it professional, but write a review on something and let everybody know what you're thinking about this source. All right. Yeah, well, you're right, Renee. Orso does generally mean 528, so it's true. Um, we all know that, though.
That was funny.
So anyway, I hope that's going well for you all. I really think that it's a tremendous resource for us, and I really encourage you to dig in and see what you can find in terms of some really fun resources. Does anybody have any questions about it or problems or anything? If you do, feel free to email me, of course. Here's my email. And that's it for Kathy's Corner. I will hang out after the show, too, by the way, guys. If anybody has any questions or thoughts or just wants to chit-chat a little bit afterwards with me, I would be happy to.
And if you're listening to this on the audio podcast, that's kcraven@fullsail.com. KCRAVEN @fullsail.com.
Thanks, Jason.
And absolutely. And if Kathy, if you'd also like to reach out to any of your instructors or anybody else at Full Sail, we're all ready to help with that. And something I mentioned to a class a while back, we've only been around for like a year. So all the students that are in this program right now are essentially pioneers, and they're crossing this unknown territory with us. And so when you dig down into Creative Edge and you find assets that are a benefit to you and you share them with your instructors, you're probably setting it up so that the groups that come after you, the groups of students that come after you, are going to be using stuff that you located. So you're helping build this machine, this MCBS family experience as we go through it. And we appreciate that. That was the sound of appreciation.
We were all listening to see if your quadcopter was coming in for a landing. We're still looking out for it, Jason.
You should keep your head down for sure. It'll really tangle your hair. Oh, that brings us to one of my absolute favorite segments. I can't believe this is someone's job. And in this segment, we take a look at one of the many, many career types that would be available to a student in our program. And for this segment, Renee is going to be running over some amazing new innovation that ESPN came up with. And ESPN is one of those big broadcast networks. Well, they're one of the newer ones, but they are having to redevelop who they are to stay on top of the industry and be the cutting edge. And one of the things that they've done is what Renee's going to tell us about. It's very exciting. Take it away, Renee.
All right. Got a nice crowd cheer there. So Monday nights, I tuned in to watch my beautiful alma mater's team play in the national championship game, and I found out that ESPN was rolling this thing out called a mega cast, which is the most epic form of casting one could do. But what they did was, and I'm a big fan. I already had seen during the NBA playoffs, TNT might give you a channel where you online where you could kind of pick the camera angle. So there's been a little bit of this going on, but ESPN took it to a ridiculous level, and I think they had 4 or 5 full channels on TV simulcasting this with different flavors of audio. I'm sorry, I like the Autobots comment there, Lisa. Thank you. Way to break my stride. Okay, so they had their traditional broadcast going, and then they had an optional one where if you wanted to just feel like you were there, you could do it without any commentary and just the sounds of the crowd and things like that. Then you could go online and you could watch it and you could choose, hey, I want to listen to the guy from the Seminoles, or I want to listen to the guy from Auburn, or I want to listen to whatever other commentators. They had another one that they wanted you to feel like you were in the coach's room with the breaking down film after the game. So they had this very informal broadcast where they had all these great pro and college coaches just sitting around talking about football as it happened. But it really didn't look like a TV show. It was really different. And so on and so forth. And in total, we see some numbers here where they took their typical broadcast crew and went from 3 production trucks to 8 production trucks. 17 cameras to 63 cameras, which is a ridiculous jump. you know, 42 microphones to 72 microphones, on and so on. And I think they went, what do we say, about 200 people on the crew, 19,000 man hours. I mean, some crazy numbers. And the interesting thing is, did it work? Well, you see there some of the numbers for the viewers of the last few championships. They didn't quite top it out. It wasn't the biggest one ever, but it was the third largest cable audience of all time, behind those two that you see there, the 27 million and the 26 million. So they just came just shy of that 26.3. And their viewers were split all over the place. But they had great reviews. Twitter was all ablaze about, you know, how good the coverage was. So they had some fun, and we'll see what happens with it. But it's a pretty extreme multi-platform broadcasting experience that they went for.
I was going to jump in, Kathy, on that brand new Apple TV that you got for Christmas. The MegaCast clips are on the free ESPN channel highlights on there, so you can actually see some of that MegaCast when you get home. And invite Lisa over.
And I'm going to invite. I was going
to
say, Lisa will come over and watch that with me.
And when my Seminoles win again next year, then you could watch it all one more time.
I'm gonna mark my calendar now actually for that. Yeah. I'm actually think I'm gonna become a football fan because that is on my Apple TV. So.
Does that mean you didn't watch the game, Kathy?
Well, I don't know. I just missed it somehow. I think I was watching the Autobots that day. That's good.
Obviously, if Kathy and Lisa are going to be watching football, they'll be eating wings and drinking beer. Just so you guys know. I was actually pausing and giving Shannon a chance to chime in. There was a lot of Seminole talk. Shannon, what's going on?
I am surrounded, everybody. I'm completely surrounded, so I'm going to keep my heads down and sit over here in my orange and blue desk.
Wise choice. Wise choice, Shannon.
Wow. It's getting awfully garnet and gold up in here. Well, I can't believe that is somebody's job, because it's awfully exciting to put together a megacast and to prepare for next year's megacast. But for now, we're going to jump forward into, and boy, get ready for the logo, people. Hashtag Be Social Media Savvy with Janelle.
Yay! Happy New Year, everybody. And Pete made the logo for me today, like in 10 minutes. So kudos to Pete, because he's amazing. And I totally hear an echo, so this stinks. But anyways, so a new year can mean new beginnings. And with that said, it's time for many of us to take a fresh start in our social media. I don't know what your guys' Facebook looks like, but the younger you started using it, the worse it probably is. Chances are we've all posted things that we either hated or regretted, or they're just kind of distasteful, especially from a professional standpoint. Now, I know most of us do not maintain our Facebook pages for professional reasons. It's more to just connect with friends and family and stuff. But it still reflects on who you are, and you never know who's watching, especially if you don't have those privacy settings put just right. So some may be just digital clutter that you want to get out of your social world. So next slide. Many articles have popped up since the new year came out, so all over the internet, on how to clean up your Facebook page. So I'm going to give you a few tips on how you guys can manage your online persona through a little Facebook cleanup. One guy decided to try to tackle this by himself. And he said he joined Facebook in 2005, which is exactly when I did. He said that he had roughly 30,000 items to delete, and if he had printed out everything in his log, it would have been about 2,400 pages. So deleting 30,000 items obviously takes a long time. He wanted to just kind of clean out everything. So, and obviously Facebook won't let you delete a lot of main events, but on average, he said it took 20 to 30 minutes to purge just a month worth of posts. So after 12 hours hand deleting things, he decided it was time to automate. So what he did was he used a Facebook timeline cleaner, and the one that you see there, the little logo, is Grease Monkey, which is good for Firefox. Now, Tamper Monkey is for Chrome if you happen to use Chrome as your browser. I don't know what Safari is, but there's also apps that you can do that. And the biggest thing you can do is actually go into your security and your account settings and disable your secure browsing, and from there it's your Facebook's like Fort Knox, Jeanette. That is awesome. So is mine. You can only find me through a friend. So anyways, this is a really good way to just kind of clean that up. And I started just going to see, there's also this really cool way on Facebook to view as someone else, especially someone that's probably not your friend. And what I did was I actually went through there and I just started deleting. They were random articles or posts or sometimes pictures that I just wanted to keep. You know, I have a little sister. I don't really want her all over Facebook or, you know, in the public. So you just, you know, if you have children and stuff like that, a lot of people don't want their faces exposed everywhere, and you don't want necessarily your coworkers or everybody knowing exactly who's in your life. So, you know, just setting your security privacy or just deleting them, that's really a good way to do it as well. And the next slide, this is a cool new app. It's called Face Wash, and it is a professional way to clean up your Facebook. So it's they say that the app allows users to search, like you can look up dirty words or offensive or distasteful terms if that's what you happen to have on your Facebook, and it helps you just go in and just do a clean sweep and delete all that junk that you got in there. So anyways, one of the cool quotes that it said is, if you spent the last 4 years being a college kid, that's wonderful, but a lot can happen in 4 years, and Facebook never forgets. Once it's out there, it's out there. So even if you delete it, Facebook keeps a log of everything you've ever done. So does all the other social media. But if you just want it off, it's a good way to just delete it. Man, this echo's killing me! Okay, I'm so done. Hashtag be social media savvy with Janelle. I'm muting me. This is terrible.
Hashtag.
Janelle. Quiet.
Links. Okay, well, I was done, but I'll give you guys links.
There
Here's
she
a good
goes.
one.
Somebody was asking about links. There you go.
There you go. I posted one of them already on the Facebook page, so if you guys want to check that out, and I'm going to post the other one on the other Facebook page for all of you guys watching the archive.
You know, that is a great idea. I hope everybody either follows us on Twitter at MCBSFS or searches for MCBSFS on Facebook and join us there.
Yes.
We're trying to break into the triple digits, people. We need your help.
I'm going to start making it mandatory in my class. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Now if they could just make one that could clean you off from the
Kind of
NSA's
thing.
records. I don't even know if anybody heard that.
No, they did. We're scared to comment.
That was a nice comment on the NSA, Jason.
We categorically deny hearing any of that.
Oh.
Well,
Back to muting myself.
we all love the NSA, and as we branch off into loving the NSA even more, Pete is going to be able to introduce some NSA-friendly tool time tools to us.
Oh, that is Jason. I would call for a standing ovation. You were so great at moderating the show, and that just totally broke me up. Anyway, yeah. Well, Tool Time this week. It's good to be back. You know, it's a new year, and we're actually starting the new year with a couple of things to think about today. We can go ahead and flip to the next today. If you know, we always have a topic here at Tool Time, and so we today is going to be hello goodbye, and there's actually something that's retiring, and yet something that is staying stable and strong and there for us as we want our free Web 2.0 apps to do. We want them to stick around. We don't want them to be here and gone tomorrow. So today, unfortunately, we're going to be first. We'll start with the bad news. So go ahead, Jason. Let's go ahead and give them the bad news first on the next slide. And well, workspaces. I don't know if any of you guys were using this. We never even had the chance to tell you about it because it was sort of one of those. Yeah, it's one of those things that it was starting to falter a little bit. And I'll tell you a little bit about it real quick so you know the impact of this. Workspaces started out being called Acrobat.com, and it was by a very well-known company, Adobe. And I had originally gotten students involved in this some years back because it was really a team workspace, and you got 5 gigabytes of storage. You could even have 3-member web conferences, you know, video conferences, And so students in groups of 3 could collaborate on projects together while they were home, away from school, and all that. It had a word processor, a presentation maker, and then, of course, an online table tool, like Excel. And all of this was in this nice little, almost like a Wigio space where you could share and collaborate and all that. And it was really, really pretty cool. The word processor was called Buzzword, and then, as you can see there, presentations and tables. Well, I just got this email 2 nights ago, and they're going to be retiring the service. As of, we have till January. If any of you were using this at all out there in the crowd, it's going to be around until next January, just so they give everybody a year to kind of get weaned off of it. So before, though, we kind of, take our heads at Adobe. Google's had its share. I mean, there I put just a few. iGoogle came and went. Google Labs, Google Wave. I'll bet you didn't even know there was a Google Aardvark. And so all of that, Google Buzz. So yeah, code search, all of it, yeah, gone. So that's just the harsh reality of some of these Web 2.0 tools, and the trick is trying to find ones that have momentum. That's the key word right here. We want to find tools that have momentum. And so Evernote is one I want to talk to you about. There's plenty of momentum going on with Evernote. So as we say goodbye to workspaces, I want to also talk about Evernote. Once again, we touched on a little sister app of Evernote called Sketch, which was a screenshot, edit, and share program. And it was acquired by Evernote. And when you see, that's one of the good signs of momentum, by the way, with Web 2.0 apps, you guys. Whenever you see these companies buying other companies to make their Web 2.0 app more robust, it means they're investing in it, and that's always a good sign. So there is an Evernote online store now, and people are buying Evernote gear, and it's really moving ahead. And I've been using the free version of Evernote for quite a while now, and it is my place where I really store everything, and I can collaborate on things and share things from Evernote. Whether it's a web clipping, all of these things have little, they have sort of other little programs, snippets and stuff, or widgets rather, that you can leave in your browser and then just click on them whenever you want to, make a note of a website or a web page or anything like that, bookmark something. The great thing about this, you guys, is that not only do you work and organize, not only do you collaborate and share, but that third thing in the list there I put, you store it all in one place. And so, that's the big thing, kind of like Digo, which is another thing that we really love here in MCBS, and we encourage you guys to go to the MCBS Digo page, by the way, to get lots of really cool things that we collect for each of our classes and want to share with you. But you tag things just like Digo. And so that way you can find things really easy. So as we look at Evernote, I want you to remember this is one of those Web 2.0 tools. Yes, it has a premium paid version, but the free version's awesome, and it's got plenty of momentum. Momentum is what we want to see. So, and of course, across the board, it's iOS friendly, Mac OS friendly, Windows Mobile friendly, Android friendly. This is that app they're developing for every platform. So that's it. We are just loving the fact that Evernote is one of those Web 2.0 tools that's nice and strong today and getting even stronger. So as we say goodbye to one, we are enjoying the fact that although we say goodbye for now to one, we love saying hello and thank you for staying to Evernote. There you have it. If you guys haven't tried Evernote, please try it. It might be worth your while. So hope you'll enjoy that one. And that's it from Tool Time.
Hello and goodbye. All right. Thank you, Pete. That was spectacular.
Awesome.
We're about to shut this party down, but in the chat room, do we have anybody out there that can tell us they're already using Evernote? How many Evernote users do we have in the audience? What do you see coming in, folks?
1, 2,
2,
3, 4.
Okay. So,
20%. 700 million, 346,000. I can't even keep count.
I think we should let Renee do the numbers. Yeah.
What does the Evernote
Oh, we're
say?
scarily on the same
15
page, Renee.
What does the Evernote say? Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh, how fun!
Well, that is it for the party. If you've got the visuals in front of you, you can see what might be the coolest sandcastle of all time. So if you're listening to the audio podcast, you might want to go check it out on YouTube, because we're not even going to describe what we're seeing here. That's how cool it is. Okay, they dug a hole and made a fire, and it looks like a big bench. It's awesome. Thanks for being here, everybody. It was a spectacular, spectacular first show of 2014, and we hope the rest of your 2014 is awesome. See you next Wednesday at 2 p.m.
Boom! We're out.
Oh, yeah.
Great to have everybody. Jason is going to turn off the archiving, but if you want to stick around, I'll hang out if you guys have any questions for me or comments or just want to chat.